Welcome to episode number 3 of the BruCast. Today we have a mic, so the show is improving. It's the first time that we have the mic. Last time it wasn't working, now it is. And for today's episode, we have a guest. Her name is Clementine. She's the administrator of the Facebook group Sphynx Lovers with around 8,000 members. And okay, so let's bring her in. 1 second. Hi, Clementine. How are you doing?
Hi.
Okay, so turns out that's the first time we actually talking to each other, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So I want to introduce myself also a little bit. So my name is Bruno. I live here in Germany, and my daily job is actually I'm a game developer. I develop games for PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, yeah, and I'm an artist. I create the arts for those video games, and but I also have this podcast on the weekends for fun as a hobby, and I was thinking, who can I invite? Who I can chat, have a nice chat, and learn more about a subject. And I have Lily. Lily is my Sphynx cat, which I love so much, and I thought how nice it would be to invite someone who knows more about Sphynx cats, who actually is part of this world, because it's a big world, right? The cat world.
Definitely.
And I've been part of the Sphynx Lovers group on Facebook for a long time. And I reached out, and thank you for replying. Thanks for accepting doing this.
You're welcome. Yes, it's always fun to talk about our beloved Sphynx cats. They're special, and a lot of other people share our love for them. And yeah, for me, I wouldn't want to live without one in the near future. Never. Once you've experienced them, they get under your skin, and they're special. But you've one of your own. So
Yeah, I know that it's so funny how easily we get attached to them, right?
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know what it is, but just I think I before meeting Lily, before getting her, I saw pictures of her and I was already in love.
I know what you mean. My first Sphynx cat was Joy, and the breeder of Joy also had a webcam on the litter, so I could follow her
Mhm.
every day, every hour if I wanted to, and I've never met her before, but I was also just like you in love even before I once saw her. So I know exactly how you felt and will be feeling.
I think it can hear them.
Oh yes, yes. Uh, I have 4 Sphynx cats. I have 2 brothers, William and Everall Dalton, from the Dalton nephews, the strip, and I have Gandalf and My Precious from Lord of the Rings. And Gandalf and My Precious are always a love and hate relationship they have, and if they want, they all want to lie underneath a warm pillow, and then they argue. It's always the same. And then when they are all underneath it, then it's okay. But when one moves, but yeah, well, that's when you have more.
I love those names.
Your mic is making a lot of disturbance again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, our listeners will hear it probably as well.
Is this better?
Much better. Yes.
Okay. If it happens again, please let
I
me know.
will let you know.
Okay. And I love those names. You're a Lord of the Rings fan.
Yes. I the other 2 brothers live with a friend of mine, and I named them Gollum and Frodo, but they are renamed because they didn't like it. But for me, I liked it. So yeah, and the Dalton brothers of. I also had Jack and Joe, and those four are the four Daltons. And I thought, well, four boys. What can I think of? And that were their names. So, and unfortunately, Jack and Joe aren't alive anymore. They passed away, but these two are still, thank God, with me. So.
How long? For how long do you have this passion? How did it started?
Well, to be honest, my husband started it. Yeah, I'm a big cat lover. I've always been a big cat lover. I've always had normal house cats. And one day my husband said, "Well, what would a Sphynx cat cost us?" So, well, when he says something like that to me, I don't hesitate. I dive into it and go look for a cat just because I love them that much. And we ended up with a breeder which breeds color cats, so blue or whatever, chocolate, special colors, lilac. Well, we wanted the blue-white one, so he promised us when a litter was with one of them, we could have first choice. And my husband liked them as well, as much as I do. And even before the blue-white, I found Joy on the internet, and she was there before even the blue-white boy. But and once you've experienced them, for me, you don't want anything else. No. But I must say, I do love hairy cats as well. So, now I have the Likoy also, and the Likoy is also a special breed. I don't know if you know them, the Likoy cats. There's a bit a werewolf look on them, and they have some hair as well, but not the normal coat of a house cat. So, maybe once I will have one of them too as well. But Sphinxes are my top.
Mine too, and they are. I would say their personality is different from a hairy cat, right?
True. Yes. When you look up on the internet, sometimes you read they're part human, part dog, part cat, and part monkey, and I think that's correct.
I agree.
There's definitely difference than other cats. True. I think that's what makes you fall in love with them so easily.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree.
Or you
Jump
might
so
start
much.
maybe you're too close, or what? I don't know.
It's making noise again?
Yeah.
Okay. I will try a different mic. Okay, I'm trying a different mic now.
Better? Yes.
That's better. Okay. We're talking about the personality.
Yes.
And I totally agree. The personality is very different. When I got Lily, I was surprised how much energy she has. It jumps so much, and so that's the monkey part, right? And I was surprised because what attracted me the most was the image, right? There's something very elegant, I think, about them. The big ears, the big eyes. I don't know. It's very, very, very elegant. But I didn't know about the personality part before actually getting one.
So when a lot of people also think they're ugly, dirty or ugly. That's what I've heard. Yeah. I've been I've been to some cat shows with my Sphynxes. not with these ones, but with the ones that are not there anymore. And a lot of people would really like them, but I've even heard one comment from, "Oh, they look like a pig." So I'm really angry, of course, but I think, okay, you can think they're ugly, that I can understand, but dirty I don't. And I always say you have to experience them. Whether you think they're pretty or not, but you have to experience them, and then you can say whether you like them or not, because the character is really a big part of the love for sphinxes, I believe.
Yeah.
For me, at least, because they're definitely different, and our Gandalf is always pestering us or someone, or he's always on top of a door or the kitchen. None other would do that, but he always does. So I think they're really special, and all in their own way, because and they're all not well all the looks besides the nudeness and the big ears and the eyes. I have 4 of them, and they're all looking different. The 2 brothers from the first litter, one is like a bulldog, short and broad, and Avril is like this, so small and always wiggling, a bit like a snake, always so doesn't want to be held or whatever, and that's what makes them so nice, and the really difference in that. And of course they always want to be with you. They want to be at least with me underneath my shirt, yeah, underneath a blanket when you're on the couch or whatever. And I've got the Bambino, which is of course also a nude cat. And she doesn't get along with the Likoy, unfortunately. So she's staying in the other part of our house, the front part where the bedroom is and where the upstairs is and the bathroom. And she always sleeps with me in bed. So she really loves that. So always tucks in and then goes lie on my neck or whatever. And that's yeah. Then hairy cat wouldn't do that very easily, also because it's too warm for them. But I can understand. So yeah. Okay, talking too much already.
No, that's perfect. That's perfect. For those listening who do not know what a Bambino cat is, would you say that a good description is a Sphynx cat with short legs?
Yes, definitely. It's in Holland or in the Netherlands. It's forbidden to breed them since a few years, and I can understand that, because a Sphynx is also a genetic mutation that isn't as nature thought to make a cat. So and the Bambino is even more, because they've crossed a Sphynx with a Munchkin. The Munchkin has short legs, like a dachshund. The tackle you don't know. The long dog with the short legs. Munchkin is a bit the same, and when you cross them, you get a Bambino. And my Bambino is her body is okay, but you see a lot of them now which are very long, and you see that the back is a bit coming down, or they have issues jumping on top of something. She can't jump on the dinner table, but well, she can jump on the bed, which is 70 centimeters or something. So she can do a lot, but she misses length of her paw to open a door, for example. She can't put her leg behind the door, things like that. But for the most part, she is just just the same as a Sphynx cat. But I can understand that they forbid it, because it's a genetic fault on top of a genetic fault. And when you put a Bambino on a Bambino, it's even worse. Or you've got the elf cats, the Scottish fold, all genetic faults, and you don't want to cross them. It only brings, well, I think, health issues, and there are a lot with all cats, but by Sphynx Cats you see, for example, heart problems, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. Hypertrophic cardiomyopathy you see a lot. I've lost at least one cat to it. It's a terrible disease, and by crossing genetic faults, I think you make the chance much bigger on issues like that, especially when you don't test your cats before you breed with them on the right way also. So an echo, how is that called? It has another name. I don't know. Probably have.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, you see a lot of problems and health problems, and maybe you've read these also on Sphynx Lovers. A lot. Oh, this is my Likoy, by the way.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Ara.
What's this one's name?
Ara.
Ara.
I didn't make it. It came with the name. And it's a Likoy, it's a male. You can see he's also a little bit without hair. There's much difference in the coating with the Likoys. There's quite a lot of hair, but there are also lots that have almost none. And they have the nice face with the werewolf look. But this one, yeah, he's been with us for more than 2 years now. He was 1 year old when he came to us. The breeder took him back from the owner she sold him to, and she was looking for a good permanent home for him. So he came to live with us. It's quite a totally different breed and character than the Sphynx. Much more active. He's always outside in the cat cage, looking for a mouse or whatever he can find, and yes, pestering the other cats. He likes that as well. So, but also very nice breed, which is also forbidden officially in the Netherlands.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so
probably because the hair, the ones that don't have the hair, almost none. They say, okay, a cat with no hair is not protected against all kinds of stuff. Well, that's true. But I think in our, at least in the Netherlands, it's not responsible to let your whatever cat outside run free. That's my opinion, because there are too much dangers in traffic, in neighbors that don't like when you have 10 cats or one cat that is pooping in their garden or whatever. Less chance on them getting lost or getting illness from other cats or whatever. So they can go out, but I have a big cat cage from where they can spend their summers for the Sphynx, because now they think it's too cold. But I haven't had my cats free outside since, well, since 21 years or something. And people that say cats have to go outside, I don't agree, because when they don't know what it is to be outside, they don't miss it. And I've had the experience. But okay. And then it's no problem when you have a nude cat, a Sphynx, or a Likoy that hasn't that much hair. And I'm not like some of the owners that love to put clothes on their Sphynx cats, because I think that's not natural. When they're ill or when they have had an operation, okay, then I understand. I do that too. But I would do that also with the hairy cats to prevent them from opening a surgical wound or whatever.
Don't they get cold and need the clothes sometimes?
No.
No.
When you have enough blankets or whatever, baskets, warm places and not heated, but when they can lie underneath. No, I've never experienced them to be cold. No. What does Lily do then? She also lies underneath blankets or something? Yes. Well, and
on the heaters.
Yes, also. They love that. They love warmth, and when we have a television that still gives a lot of warmness when it's on, so they all go sit up front. But that's because they love the warmth, but they don't need the clothes. No, most of them don't even like it. I put on William. I've put on a Christmas suit for the Christmas photos. I will show you one after our our broadcast. So that's the only reason I put on clothes and when they are ill or had a surgery or something. But further on, no, and they don't need it. They were born without, so.
Good that I talked to you, because Lily, she always complains, she hates it. But when she's wearing them, she stands still and don't move. She just stays in one place for 2 days when she is wearing the clothes. And in my mind, I think she's depressed. I don't know, so I take it out.
She's they don't like it. And then, of course, there are always exceptions for that they like it, or when they've been putting on them from when they were little. But I've never had a cat that really liked it. No. So I don't. Yes, only with when medical issues and for the Christmas photos, and that's it. And William doesn't mind. When you see it, you will understand. It fits him perfectly, and it's got a little hat that can put on his. So.
Please share it with me. I want to see it.
Yeah.
And another reason that I used to put clothes on Lily, I stopped doing that, but I used to. Is because they get oily, right? Their skin get a little bit oily, and she likes to sleep under in the bed, right?
Yeah, I know.
It gets all dirty. I was like, oh my god, what I'm doing for my life? So I just gave up at one moment. I just start washing the bed like every day.
Well, yeah, I've got the same problem with the Bambino that's sleeping in my bed. Yes, and I've given up washing every day because I don't have the time to do that. But for the clothes, it might help a little bit, but I think the inconvenience for them is too big to. Well, I don't. I think you should buy a bedding that is a bit Sphynx brown color, so then you won't see too much.
The bed sheet.
Yeah. Don't buy anything white or just a little bit brownish. No, I know. It's and when you've got something black on your sheets also, and when you have more. But yeah, the other thing you could do is wash them frequently, but they don't like that mostly either. And the effect is so short that it doesn't weigh up as well to what we're pestering them with. So I think, well, it's some. That's why I said when people say, "Oh, Sphynx, oh, you don't have hair in the house." No, true, but we have got these stains everywhere. They wash out easily. Thank God, when you have used the right program on your washing machine. But yeah, I know.
Yeah. For those who are listening and don't know, Sphynx cats, they're high maintenance. They require a lot of
From
special care and love.
now, not the cat themselves, but your house and your bed and your
Oh
clothes
yeah.
and
I
all
wanted.
the. Do you have the problem also with the eye? That they produce a little bit of brownish from the ice that is on the
Yes.
walls everywhere when you're lucky, and because they don't have the hairs. How are these called? Whimpers? No, I don't know how they are called in English.
Eyelashes.
Eyelashes, yeah, they don't have them, so the eyes get a little bit more dirty. And the ears, of course, with the blackish from the ears, you have to do that. Well, high maintenance indeed.
But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, do you have a special cleaning routine with
No,
the
no,
cats? No.
no, none. In the beginning, we washed them every weekend,
Mhm.
and at one point we realized that we were only pestering them, and it didn't have any result, so we stopped. And the only time I do it when for in the I photo. I'm a hobby photographist, so every now and then I put one in my little studio to make a picture, and then sometimes I wash them because they're too dirty, depending on. But that's about it, and I stopped doing that. And also cleaning the ears. I must say, one of the Sphinxes cleans the ears of the others. So only when it's too bad, I clean it a little bit, but. No, I've stopped doing all these things. No, and
Yeah, and
maybe they're more happy with that than with all the cleaning maintenance. So,
it's very time consuming also. Yeah.
especially
Yeah.
when you have a lot. There was at one point when we moved to this house 5 years ago. I think I had 11 cats.
Hmm.
One house cat, one uh, one cat that was almost nude, but he had other genetic problems. He didn't have any teeth at all, never had, and never became one. And he missed one toe on the hind leg. And he had a very curly tail. That's also not normal. And when he was 6, 7 years old, he's starting to have temperature problems. His temperature was 33 degrees, and normally you're dead when you have that temperature. But he was still walking around. He was very ill, but he was still walking around. Went to several vet clinics, and no one really could find out what was the problem. He has had that for, I think, 2 or 3 times a longer period, and only with prednisone with high prednisone dosage, I could pull him through, and
Hmm.
clothes on and heating pads and whatever to keep him warm. And in the end, he uh, died very suddenly, probably heart failure, but he was a complete genetic failure. He was born out of a house cat in Ibiza, and with a former friend of mine, and she gave him to me because in the beginning we thought maybe this is new blood to put in the Sphinxes, but with all his faults and mistakes, that was not interesting. So I had that one, but Batman, unfortunately, he doesn't live anymore, and the old house cat who died at the age of 20. And I had the mother of my 4 own breed cats, Sadie. She died of mama tumors. They can get it when you have given the hormones, so they don't get their period. No, it's not the right word. I don't know what it's called in English.
The
Cross.
blood.
Yeah, yeah. Anti-conception pills, anti-conception pills, and these have a very nasty side effect that they can have mama tumors, and I have had them removed 2 times, a really big scar from 10 centimeters or more. But in the end, they also got tumors in the lungs because of that. So I had to let her go. And I've had Muscle. Muscle was an breeding male who was the best character ever. My husband picked him up at the breeder. We put him on the ground in the living room, and he said meow meow, and the other cat said meow meow, and it was like he has always lived with us. It's unbelievable. Echt the best character ever, and unfortunately he passed away as well due heart problems, not hypertrophic, but another form of heart problem, and which the fluid in his lungs couldn't be normally your heart pumps and the fluids extract normally, but with his the heart couldn't perform well enough, so he drowned in his own fluids in his lungs. So I had to let him go very suddenly out of. The first time he had it was April 18th, and within 2 weeks he had it again, and it was so bad. I flew to the vet to let him go. It was terrible. So that.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I understand, but that's when you've experienced joy. My first swings also had this the same death with fluid in the lungs. It's terrible.
And would you say this is because of a breeding technique?
With joy, probably, yeah, because her sister and the 2 kittens from her sister, I've been able to follow. A friend of mine owned 2 brothers, and they all died of heart failure. Okay. Of heart problems, I must say, not heart failure, heart problems. The second cat, the blue and white, Gigi, he was diagnosed with HCM. I will name the Dutch name HCM at the age of 1. He didn't die of it. He died of tumors, also of cancer. But his 2 of his brothers had it and died of it, and his half sister from the same mother had it. So yes, definitely, it's genetic, and if you test right, you can prevent a lot of illness, terrible death, terrible grief from owners, costs for vets, and so on and so on. And that's why we have a policy on lovers. So maybe you've seen it or not, but when you want to sell your kittens or rehome a Sphynx, we want them to be tested so that we can. The people that are interested, we want to try to protect them so against bad breeders. It's not a nice word, but it is. And we have a database where we put in all the tests and the cats, so you can see easily how far in the pedigree tests are done, and where you could see a good test, bad test. You never have a guarantee, but it definitely helps to make it visible for everyone where the bad cats are, and due to the inbreed of the same cats, when you go back in the lines, you see that a lot. And even now, because you can't just keep putting hairy cats in, you have to reuse the same lines sometimes. And then when it's a bad line, then you get the illnesses, and especially the heart illnesses, much more easy. And a lot of breeders that want to have a fun litter don't test. They don't give a pedigree, for example. They say, oh, well, it's cheaper without one, or a pedigree costs about 10 euros, so that's bullshit. Or they test DNA, which is not possible to rule out HCM, because only one kind of genetic HCM. So there's still a lot of work to do, and we've been fighting that, especially my friend Will, for a very long time, and will continue to do so as long as we can. We've even once I've taken Joy, my second cat, with HCM. She was tested by a doctor, a specialist in the Netherlands, and I've taken her to another radiologist, from which we thought she wasn't testing that well. So I went with Joy to her, and the way of testing was very different from the first one. The first doctor gave her a little sedation, so she would lie still, and propofol, which they can sleep instantly, but also can be awake almost instantly. So the second one didn't sedate them. Well, fine, it's always better than a sedation, but she was just standing on the table, and she used the I don't know, the echographic, I don't know how it's called in English. It was 10 minutes, and then she said, oh, well, everything is okay. You can, she's good, and you can breathe with her if you want to. So I said, okay, so thank you. And we didn't mention anything. So I had 2 test results, one HCM positive and one HCM negative. So I said, okay, I need to go to one more. So we went to, at that moment, the only Dutch cardiologist in Utrecht, and he tested her positive as well. So what I thought and what she died of later was HCM. But when you breathe and you know, okay, this radiologist mostly tests good, negative, well, I will use this one, so I can breathe with a good test. And that's what's happening. And we even went to a special board of veterinarians to put a discussion. Okay, look, we've with one cat to three different veterinarians, and tell us what we can do. Well, they didn't help us at all, but the radiologist talked to us, and she understood why we were doing this, and I think she even stopped now. So it did something, but yes, it's just a little drop. But there's so much,
But it's something. It's something.
Yeah.
And I had no. This is very interesting, because as a customer, if I'm going to a breeder to buy my first Sphynx cat, which was like myself, I had no idea about any of this.
For me the same. I did some homework, and I knew something about the hypo HCM, and I was handed over 2 copies of the test results. So okay, tested fine, but yeah, now I know that doesn't mean anything if you go to a doctor which always says okay, negative. There's more to it than that, and I'm not saying that every veterinarian is bad, but well, when you know more, you learn, and you know where to look and where to go and not to go. And we always try to warn kitten buyers, please do your homework. When a breeder doesn't want to give you copies of the tests, then okay, why not? Why shouldn't you have one? Why shouldn't a breeder give you a pedigree with your cat? How does the house look where the cats live? Do they live upstairs in a little room, or do they live in the living room? And so on and so on. There's so much you can do, but we made the same mistakes. We thought we did it right. We even paid much more than we should have. The first one was 1,250 euros, and the second one 1,500 euros, and both were diagnosed with HCM, and one of them even died of it. And no, not so. We try to warn, but yeah, not all people want to listen, and some think it's better to buy cheap. Not that you have to buy an expensive Sphynx, but when you can buy one for 650 euros, why should you pay 1,000? Something like that. Well, and so every now and then a kitten buyer contacts me, and I try to explain, and then they understand. But it's always hard, and there's always a lot of much throwing between breeders, and that's why I'm glad I'm not a breeder anymore. I've done it twice.
Okay.
And when you want to do it right, I think you should at least in the beginning be home, and you can't go to work. So okay, I've got a litter. I go to work now. I see you at 6 o'clock in the evening. There's always a lot that could go wrong, and so on and so on. And yeah, not everyone realizes what work, what money it costs to breed. And well, okay, that's
perfect. So for how long were you a breeder?
Well, I've had 2 litters, so I've had the first in 2010 and the second in 2012. And the first litter I only had males, so I couldn't use them to start my own line. And so the next litter I had 5 kittens. One died after a few days, and there was precious one female, so I had my own female to start breeding with. But then I lost my job near home. I had a job at 700 meters from my home, and then I lost it, and I had to go to work here a few not that far away, but far enough for me to say, okay, I can't do this responsibly. I can't go home after when they're a week or 2 old. I used the webcam, and when I saw something, I always could go home and check and go back. That was an arrangement I could make with my employer. But yeah, so that's why I stopped, and it's okay for me. I don't think I would want to do it. Maybe when I've retired, but not now. No, if you do it, you have to do it right, and it's a lot of work and a lot of stress, and it's not always fun, especially when you lose kittens or when they get ill or name it. So it's,
especially if you're dealing with other lives, right?
Yes,
it needs to be done it right. Yeah, so yeah. It's a full-time job basically.
Almost, especially in the beginning, and when I remember with the second litter, when I let them be born in a bedroom upstairs, to give them privacy and not all the other cats that can move around them and about when they were able to walk around a little bit. You see the mentioning up top as well. Oh, it's gone. There was a pop-up, but it's gone. When after a few weeks, I moved them downstairs, and when you see what the reaction of the mother can be really angry, and she was every time collecting all the kittens and put them back in the cage. And after a while, that becomes better, and it's lovely to see all the other cats taking care of the kittens. I had a big cage with some a lamp that gave warmth, and they would all sit underneath it, and the kittens that was really lovely. And you don't have to put it on a television or whatever with kittens. It's fun all evening just looking at them. But it's a lot of work, a lot of responsibility, and no, I think it's okay. For me, it was fun experiencing, but yeah.
So let me see if I understand this correct. For breeding, just as curiosity, it's normally one male for several females, or
Yeah. No, a breeding male is not easy to keep in your home because they no, I'm not. I don't know a neat word. Piss. They piss in your house when you're lucky, and it's not a normal pee, but it's the stinky ones. They spray. Plus, when you have more than one female, there's always a risk of pregnancy without you wanting it. So you have to either give the females anti-conception, or you can give the male some hormones, but it's not ideal. There's some breeders that have their stud cats in the living room, but they wear diapers or something like that, so they don't spray.
Really? Oh,
But
wow.
still, you have to, you always have to be careful that they don't breed the females before you want them to. Either if you have young ones, or they're not tested, or whatever. So it's always difficult to, and some will do fine and some won't. It will differ per cat, and when you want more studs, then you even got a problem, and they will probably argue with each other for, okay, we want all the girls, and and I know my friend has special rooms for them. I don't think it's ideal, but I can understand, because and then she can put the females with the males for choice, but it's not the most loving life for a male that is. So I personally think that should be limited to 1 or 2 years, and that's it. But so that's always a bit of a problem. Plus, then when you want to breed, you have a nice female. So you need to look for a male that and a breeder that wants to give to let her male put on. So you have to pay for that. You have to test. If you want to buy a Sphynx with whom you may breed, the price is high, much higher. I think 2,500–3,500 euros is quite normal, and depending on where they come from, we also have transport costs. And then you have to find indeed a right male. You have to look for blood type. When you have contradicting blood types, the kittens may not drink with their mother for 84 hours. So there are lots of things you have to look out for, and a lot of breeders also want special colors, special eye colors, and so on. And so there even are breeders that breed eye Sphynx cats. So That's
Just for the eyes, yeah.
yes.
Oh,
Now for
wow.
me, I don't give a shit on color or eye color. Yeah, I must say my first litter, Everall, is an odd eye. He is a beautiful odd eye, and most breeders would be jealous, but his balls are click off. But that was just lucky. I didn't even know that could happen, so it was.
I'm sorry. Why people would be jealous? I'm sorry.
No, the Everall, one of my, he
Overall.
has odd eyes. Yeah, so he's a yellow and a blue eye, so he's
Oh,
special
right.
for a lot of
Oh,
the
this is so
breeders.
pretty. It's
Yeah,
beautiful. Yes, yes.
it was just luck.
Uh,
I didn't wasn't looking for that, so it was just pure luck. And a lot of breeders would be jealous, especially with his. Yeah, he's really a nice odd eye. So yeah, that.
I want to ask you about. This is so interesting. I had no idea about all of. It's a lot of work. It's
Hmm.
really a lot of
You
work.
want? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
I, I want to ask you about the food.
Mm-hmm.
I buy this. I think I forgot. It's like Sphynx food. It's the and
For Royal
I
Canin, you mean, or
yeah,
not?
genau,
Yeah.
genau, exactly.
Yeah.
And I give her that, and I
Mm-hmm.
give her a little bit of this can with meat in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say this is like appropriate?
Well, I think you have to look at Lily herself. If she's doing okay, if her poop is okay, and she looks healthy, she doesn't lose weight or is too overweight, then it's fine. Unfortunately, Sphynx cats do often have uh, um, yeah, diarrhea like
Mm-hmm.
poop, smelly poop, but also diarrhea like. So it's a problem with a lot of cats, but also with Sphinxes. I think they're yeah, spijsvertering. Their internal system works differently from other cats. I think it works faster because oh yeah, ah, there she is. Hi, Lily. Hi. Oh, beautiful yellow
Yeah,
eyes. Hi.
she's confused.
Yes, I can
Oh,
understand.
okay, okay.
Yeah, that's typical. No, but I think when they are good on weight and the poop is okay, then you're doing fine. I give them another brand, Caro Croc. It's called. It's a Dutch brand and with lamb and rice. And I give also Royal Canin Sensible. So that's
Sensible.
yeah,
Okay.
because their digestion is a little different from most cats. I think it's a bit faster. They need more because they also need to keep warm. They use up more energy,
Mm-hmm.
and I every now and then give them some raw meat special for
Raw meat.
cats. They
Okay.
like that, so every now and then, but mostly just the dry meat. And I think most cats, whatever breed, do best on the same food constantly. So when you give every oh, this week I give Whiskas and the next week I give that brand and the next week that, I think that always gives a bit of problems with her intestines and with her poop. What's poop in English? Poop.
Poop.
I,
um,
I, I, I don't use that word too often, so
that's
not in
okay.
English at least.
How do you say in Dutch? It's poop.
Poep, poep, ja,
Okay.
poep. Ontlasting, ontlasting. Dat is echt
On
het
blush.
Nederlandse woord, ontlasting. Maar I don't
Um,
know when I hear the word, oh yeah, you know.
do does your cat do they eat plants as well?
Uh, Yes, but that's why I haven't had plants since 20 years or something. At least not real ones. No, I don't have any plants. I don't have any nice glass stuff that can fall off.
That's smart.
I have a lot of it, but our Everall had at one point every evening at around 9:30, he jumped on one of the closets. I don't know if the right word, but you know what I mean. The dresser, and there was a beautiful lamp on it, and every night he pushed it over.
No.
Every night.
And, I don't care.
No, but we took something. We attached it to the closet so it couldn't fall off. So every night it banged. And at one point that it fell to the ground because that didn't hold on anymore. So then, but he's done that for months, and that's why I don't have anything that can break or fall, or I don't have curtains, for example, and I don't have a couch from only a leather couch because well, you know what happens when you're with your bed clothing, that will help happen to the couch as well. So yes, our home is a bit arranged for Sphynx Cats. No flowers, no plants, nothing.
No Christmas tree, no Christmas
tree. No, definitely not. No, I have had a wooden one, but even this one got knocked over and died.
Oh man! And they know what they're doing, right? They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're just when they're going to sit up front of television, exactly for the subtitles, so you can't read them. And then, yeah, it's typical, but that's why we like them so much.
Yes.
They even want to hang on my computer screen because it's warm. They go and hang with their paws on top of it, and then
Really?
Yeah, they even done that. Yeah,
that's cute. That's
well, cute. No, you can't see anything anymore. Yeah, it's unbelievable after now and then.
I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
Why? I don't know if it's just Lily or always Sphynx Cats. I really don't know. Sometimes she's just looking out of the window and she starts doing a very weird noise. You probably know what I mean. Yeah. What is this?
Birds. Nice birds.
She's trying to catch the bird.
Well, they see them and then they make this sound. I would say the home cats do that as well. It's just a cat thing, and yeah. But it's lovely to hear and watch. We have a lot of birds here, and I have a bird feeder outside the window, so I can always see lots of them, and they sit on the window aisle or whatever it's called, and then the bottom goes like this, and they make the sound. It's lovely to see. Yes, and thankfully they can't hurt them. We've had once a bird probably in the cat cage, and they brought it back in our living room, but it was still alive. It was so funny. The bird was on the ground, and all 6 or 8 of them were around looking at it, but they didn't know what to do with it. So I could grab the bird and let it rest a little bit in a box and then put it out again. But it was so funny. We're all looking at the bird and thought, what do we do now?
It's the first time they catch a bird.
Yeah, probably. And Ara, the Likoy, has brought in several dead mouses already, so he knows how to catch some. Yeah, there are the mouses with the long nose, spitsmuis, we call it in Dutch, but they're the ones that don't live in your home, so he doesn't need to catch them. But yeah, well, it's nature, unfortunately. So, but he's a good hunter, Ara, even in the cage. Huh? There he is.
So you let them go outside.
We have a special.
The cage.
Yeah, it's not really a cage. It's oh, how do you call it? It's got a roof. It's about 3 by 4 meters, so it's quite large, and it's almost attached to our house. So the cats can go through a tunnel, and then they come in the cage. So it's outside, but they can't go really out. It's only
Got it.
so, and then we have how do we go? Planks is not the right word. Wooden shelves they can walk on. I've got a cat wheel and all kinds of cat beds and well, stuff to scratch on. So it's a play garden or something as well. And when it's sunny, the sphinxes go to lie in the sun. There.
That's amazing. That's the paradise.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's and they can enter it themselves. Yeah, it's
Did
perfect.
you build it yourself?
We've the wooden construction with the roof. We have that have let that build. We have one at the house also to sit on. So it's we have 2 of them, and my husband Frank finished it off with cage stuff and all the interior and to give it a nice look, so it would look nice. We live in a little farmhouse, so we wanted to blend it in a little bit and painted the same color. So yeah.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice. I wish I could do that. I live in the middle of the city, in the center of the city, in the last floor. So
Okay.
I don't open the windows wide open, just a little bit, because if I open wide open, Lily would go to, I don't know where she would
No,
go.
you can't risk that. No, I wouldn't do that either. No. But that's yeah. We were so fortunate to be able to buy this. I have horses as well, so I was my dream to have a home where the horses could live as well. So that's why we ended up here 5 years ago.
So that's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I have to travel a little more for work, but almost an hour one way. But in the end, it's worth it. So when you sit on your couch and you can see the horses in your backyard, it's really nice.
How many horses do you have?
Two.
Okay.
Yeah, one I've also bred myself 24 years ago. Yeah. And yeah, one I recently that my other horse I had to let her go. She was ill, and I've got a new one now, but I'm not really happy with him. But we'll have to wait and see. It turns out to be a different horse than I was looking for, and I've never had that experience before. But well, still working on it. But we'll see if he can. If I can have him, let him stay, or if I find another home for him and look for another horse. I want to be happy with them and not always thinking, okay, what will he do next time? So.
Oh, he's very agitated.
I don't. I can't put a finger on it right exactly why he's doing it, and so yeah, it's a bit. I'm not familiar with this kind of attitude, and he's not mean or something, but he has weird things. So well, we'll have to wait and see. I've only had him for 6-7 weeks, so he still has some chance to change. But it's yeah, not what I hoped for. I hoped it would be just as easy horse as I used to, but okay, that's a different story.
No, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Clementine, I have one last question,
Hmm.
and then gonna wrap it up.
Yeah, I'm hungry, so please do.
Okay, the last question is, for what type of family would you say that the Sphynx Cats for?
Ooh, I think they could be for any kind of household, like you, for a person alone, for a family. They can be perfect for children. I think that there's not a special kind of person or a family that fits them. It's no, I don't think so. But that's my experience. When you're living on your own, I think they can be real good um, companions. Preferably, preferably, they should live with another cat. That's what
Another
I
cat,
think.
okay.
Because when I look at my Sphinxes, they really appreciate company. And that could be a hairy cat as well as a Sphinx, but they really like company. And yeah, a family could also be perfect. I know a Sphinx friend of mine from Belgium, Chantal. She has only one cat, but she is home always. She has some health issues, so she can't work anymore, and she's home almost all the time. And when she goes on vacation, she takes her cat with her. So she even visited me one time and brought her cat, her Sphinx cat, with her. So yeah, it can suit everyone, but I think yeah, preferably uh, with companion. Exceptions are always there, of course, and yeah. Uh, like all animals, I think my situation is not ideal because we both work. I leave home at 7 and I come home at 4, but that's I've got to pay for all those animals we have, so we have to work.
Of course.
But I would prefer to be more home, but that's how it is. And yeah, I think they could suit it when your heart is open and you don't mind the work you will have from their well, greasy skin or whatever. But that's something you really should realize. But I think also that goes for every animal. People think, oh, that's nice. Oh, that fits with my the color of my walls or whatever. They buy cats for the most strange reasons, and well, you should realize that any animal will cost time, money. When they have health issues, it can cost a lot of money.
Mhm.
I've been with Gandalf 2 times to a special doctor for his. He has an obstruction in his. How is that called? Where he breathes through. There's an obstruction. Luchtweg, luchtwegen.
The I also don't
Yeah,
know, but
yeah,
where the respiration
yes,
pass
the
by.
respirator.
Yeah.
Yes. And I've the specialist has 2 years ago, more than 2 years ago, he has with an endoscope, he has opened it a bit so he could breathe better. It's a residue of a cold when he was kitten. He had one of the viral colds, and he still has issues from. So more than 2 years ago, it worked out very well. So he was starting to have the same problem again, and he was even more sick of it. So I went to the specialist again. The first time I paid €1,000. This time, because they didn't have to do an MRI, it was only €600. And that's only an example of how much it can cost if you want to try to do the right by your animal health-wise. And it doesn't always have to cost a lot of money, but I think that's one important thing you should realize, and taking care of it. And if you have a house, a living room where expensive stuff is, and you don't want it to get ruined or whatever, well, don't take an animal, because there will always happen something.
Yes.
And that goes for a dog or whatever. We have 2 dogs as well. When they barge into the room, the half of the room goes everywhere, and hairs go everywhere. Yeah. So, but that's my vision. I think
That's wonderful. So don't treat them like objects, because they're not.
No, they're not. No,
They're not.
And also the character, and also how they behave, and well, yeah, it's not guaranteed that they will be perfect in all ways. So,
Clementine, thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I learned a lot, and hopefully the people watching also learned something. And thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome, and good luck with Lily, and hope to speak to you again.
Me too. Bye, everyone. If you have any questions or want to learn more about Sphynx Cats, please visit Sphynx Lovers on Facebook. And there's a list there with good breeders, right? And bad breeders. Just research before adopting your Sphynx cat. And good luck to you all. Thank you very much, Clementine.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.